pay, and we have made it affordable to any family. And this is absolutely crucial to get women also out in the workforce, and to work for gender equality as well in a society. So I think, yes, we can probably share our experiences and best practices in this field. But it was almost shocking to hear what the situation looks like for many women and single parents who are in most cases are, I think, women also experience huge problems, of course. And if they if they cannot work full hours, and then their social benefits will be cut as well, and it becomes more and more difficult. So this is a very sort of evil, vicious circle in the end.
Okay. Thank you. I think we'll go to another video that was uploaded by our members onto YouTube. So if we can have up on the screen the next question.
If you were trying to explain the Lisbon Treaty to someone on their doorstep, how would you do it?
So that question comes from Claire, who's from Ballina in County Mayo. And that question is a tricky one. And I suppose a lot of people in Ireland are scratching their heads now as to how something like the Lisbon Treaty can be explained. How would you do it if you were knocking on Claire's door in Carinthrilla?
Well, I guess that she might be able to do it even better than me, especially in English. But I think I have been fighting for a long time for us to be able to issue a citizen summary of the Lisbon Treaty, and this is what we are working on right now. So I also hope that we will have something in writing which will provide a readable, sort of in no jargon text on the Lisbon Treaty. I think you have to start from the very beginning and say that if we are 27 members in a European Union, you need a rule book or an agreement on exactly how to take decisions in a clear and effective way. You have to make the European Union more democratic. It gives the citizens more possibilities to also get engaged and push for initiatives. And we have to make it also offer an opportunity to the European Union to maybe speak with one voice more often, and not sort of provide for the decision making that divides us. And this is what we try to do through this treaty. We explain exactly who should do what should member states do, what should be decided at the European level. And we decide how to take decisions. What are the majorities, and how should this be set up? So it's really the rule book. The old treaties, the existing treaties, were set up for a much smaller union. And this also means that it is sometimes very difficult to find a majority or come to a decision. And we just want to make also the European Parliament more active and more have the responsibility to take decisions on more areas.
But I mean,
I tried here in Ireland last time. I tried to say this is like, the cookbook, the recipe, and you need all these ingredients, and then of course the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I mean, you're not that interested in the recipe or the cookbook per se. But you are interested in if we can have a good result, and if we're able to take decisions to help to tackle the problems that we see. And they are already moving across borders, and they are not restricted by treaties or what is written on a paper. And we just have to keep up, and we have to modernize the way we take decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that actually leads us on quite well to another question that was submitted on our website. It's on the similar topic of the Lisbon Treaty. So this again was in our top 10 questions. And that is, what is at stake in the Irish referendum in October? So how would you, in terms of making a choice, I guess you'll have to consider the pros and cons, the costs and benefits. So what do you think is at stake, assuming a referendum is October? It could be earlier or later. What do you think is really at stake in this decision for Ireland?
I think the other way to ask the question is what I hear very often: why can't you accept a no? Why do you force the Irish people to vote over and over again? Is it that you don't accept? Isn't a no a no? And also I've said before that it's an answer, but it is not a solution. It is not a solution to the fact that what Ireland says will affect 27 member states. It will affect all the others. Also the big majority who have actually already taken a decision on the ratification. This is why it is important. Otherwise we could just say, well, we leave it with that. They have voted and that's it. But instead we needed to find out why was it that the Irish said no. Is there any way we could help with the Irish concerns? And the other member states were willing to do so, to look into the details of that answer and the vote. And this is what they are trying to do now. Of course, I mean, we can only speculate and we can only guess, and most of us do not want to do that, about what happens if there is a no a second time, because I think it will, I don't know exactly what will happen, but of course it will be very, very difficult to come back to the whole issue and to deal with that situation. I think the biggest risk is always if we get a reaction that is a very bitter one, and where maybe a few member states would say, well, we'll go along anyway. We will form a sort of a two-speed Europe. So let those who really want to deepen their cooperation and find another way forward go ahead with that, and leave the others at the side. Or then they can just sort of stay out of it, which I would not like to see. I hope we can keep the European Union together and agree on the way forward. And I think this is absolutely necessary. And the one new thing that was put into the one new substance issue that was sort of put into it was really on climate change. And that is indeed very, very important.
I mean, you might have seen yesterday in the Irish Times there was a story about the new deal that the Irish government is trying to negotiate, so that there will be a new deal on the table for Irish voters. And the plan had always been, as I suppose most people had understood it, that Ireland would get legal guarantees that the treaty wouldn't affect taxation or neutrality or other issues. And the story suggested in the Irish Times that there were some countries, including Britain, who were resisting at this late stage these legal guarantees. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Have you heard that, or do you think it's appropriate for member states at this late stage to be creating diplomatic problems?
Well, I think this is what always happens. As soon as you present a text, all the diplomats and all the legal people will look at every nut and bolt of such a text, and they will look at it from all angles, and they will check whether it can open up any problems. So I just think that they are hopefully doing their job in making sure that this helps Ireland, because it will really provide the legal guarantees for Ireland, and it is clear enough in the text. And at the same time, it doesn't reopen for everybody else or create problems in their respective member states, because nobody wants a sort of ratification in the other member states. So this is what they are doing. So I trust that they will find a solution, because the political will is there. People really want from all member states that we can come to an end to this, that we can close this chapter of establishing a new and agreeing a new treaty, and then we can move on substance, on the policies that we have to discuss. This is what the citizens want us to do.
But I mean, just to dig deeper on that issue, I suppose, I mean, this discussion, this sort of framework approach that would be agreed about the legal guarantee, I mean, this was agreed, really, wasn't it, in December? So we're looking at a summit this next weekend to agree the method